Yo, what's going on, guys? So some brand new Yu-Gi-Oh cards got announced, and one of them is actually looking like it may be kind of broken. But let's go ahead and start off with the brand new toy archetype. So anyways, this come out in 24 PP is the set. So first off, we're going to be taking a look at Toy Soldier. So Toy Soldier over here is going to be a level 4 light warrior effect monster with 1500 attack and 1000 defense points. And it says that you can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is you can set this card from your hand to your spell and trap zone as a spell. If this card is set in the spell and trap zone, it is sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon it. The third part is if this card is normal or special summon, you get to add a toy box from your deck to your hand, or if you control a toy box, you can add a level 4 light monster instead. Oh, is this like the Princess Cologne? I think that that's part of the archetype. So this is a newer archetype, or is it? Hold on, I got a double check on the toy box archetype. I think it was like Box of Friends, if you guys remember that. It was never really an archetype that like took off, but it had like that toy, no, because it's like it's toy something. Okay, so we have like the toy knight. Okay, oh, I guess maybe these work with toy vendors. Does it work with Fluffles? I know that there is there's like a box of, okay, it was Box of Friend, Princess Cologne. Okay, this, yeah, again, they needed a lot more. I don't know if this is part of the archetype. But anyways, so it's Toy Box and this Box of Friends. Again, I don't know if there's any synergy. We'll see. Anyways, next up we have Toy Tank, level 4 light machine effect monster, 1000 attack, 21 defense points. And it says you can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is you can set this card from your hand to your spell and trap zone as a spell. If this card in your spell and trap zone is sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon it. Third part is you can tribute this card to special summon one level 6 or lower monster from your hand. If you control a toy box, you can just special summon from your graveyard instead, except for Toy Tank. Okay, so next up we have Toy Box, which is a continuous spell card that says once per turn you get to activate one of these effects. So the first effect is to set to your spell and trap zone as spells up to 2 monsters from your hand or hand, deck, face-up monster zone, and or graveyard that have toy in their original names and effect to set themselves in the spell and trap zone. Okay, so I don't think they're part of the box archetype, but you set them as a spell. The next part is to destroy up to 2 cards in your spell and trap zone, and then once per turn, when your opponent monster declares an attack, you get to send one face-down card you control to the graveyard, then you get to destroy that opponent's monster. Okay, at first I was going to say this archetype looks like absolute trash, so it looks like more likely they're just going to get rid of this. Obviously, yes, it's continuous, but being able to have that effect to pop one of your opponents, and then you get to resummon one of your cards, that seems like a okay effect, but I think right now it's so underdeveloped for the archetype because we don't even have their level, it says 6 or lower, and we only have 2 monsters. So I want to say this archetype is probably not ready to be played yet. So next up though, this is some fire support. This is Red Lotus King Flame Crime. So it's a new level 3 Fire Fiend effect monster with 1700 attack and 300 defense points. It says you can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. First part is during the main phase, if you control a Fiend Tuner or your opponent controls a special summon monster as a quick effect, you get to special summon this card from your hand. Second part is if this card is special summon, you get to inflict 400 damage to your opponent for each fire monster you control with different names. So in theory, I guess 6, because you count the extra monster zones. It's like, okay, burn damage, but that's what fire was supposed to do back in the day. The third part is if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you get to send one normal trap from your deck to the graveyard. Okay, so this is probably like the Red Dragon Archfiend thing, and then you get to like reset the card. I think there's like one that like negates like whatever, and then probably has some sort of mechanic to reset itself. So that's pretty much what it's used for, to just fish out that trap card. Next up, though, we have some more cards. This is all coming out in 24 PP. So White Circle Reef is a new normal spell card that says you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is target a fish monster you control, destroy that fish monster. If you do, add one monster with the same name from your deck to your hand. If you control a fish synchro monster, when you activated this card, you get a special summon instead. And a lot of those cards, I'm guessing, resummon like more monsters, because that's what fish do. The second part is you can banish this card from your graveyard and then target 2 fish monsters in your graveyard with the same name. Place one of them on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, special summon the other. Okay, so it'll bring out the other one. Next up, though, we have White Arbitration over here, which is a continuous trap card. It says you can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. First part is you can target a fish monster you control and treat it as a tuner this turn. Second part is when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you discard a fish monster, change all monsters your opponent controls to defense position. Third part is if your fish monsters is destroyed by battle or send it to the graveyard, you can send this face-up card from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard to special summon a fish monster from your graveyard. Okay, so it just brings out a lot more fish. I'm not sure if this is going to make like fish like an actual thing, but we'll have to wait and see what other support comes out. Now, this is the card that I actually wanted to talk about, because a lot of people are saying this card is going to be super busted, and I think it's got a lot of potential. All right, so let's check it out. The name of the card is Pitch Black Sun, or / Viz Ebon Sun. Anyways, it's a new continuous spell card that says you can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is, if a face-up monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you get to gain life points equal to their total original attack. Okay, not too bad. The second part is, because remember, it's continuous, but again, people don't even play like any of the cards where if it's destroyed, you get to like add another card like Supply Squad. That card actually saw some play at some point, but Yu-Gi-Oh's gotten way too fast. But I mean, healing, we'll wait and see, because some archetypes you will gain a benefit, like Arrow Mage, right? They are getting new support as well more recently. Anyways, second part is, if a monster is special summon face up from your graveyard, you target one of them and it gains 1,000 attack. Okay, I mean, again, all this is added. Now, keep in mind, this is a continuous. The third effect is, if a spell or trap is sent from your hand to the graveyard, you get to target one of them and add it to your hand. So I think this effect is what is going to make it super busted, potentially. And I think that this is where everyone's going to be freaking out eventually. Someone's going to figure out something that's going to be ridiculous. Now, I was checking out, I was checking out the ban list. I was like, okay, well, what are the most like OP things that you can like stall with? This would be pretty annoying. To go and add any card that's like a one of, like, 1 day at peace. Maybe you can finally use slash draw Kappa. No, because well, you'd have to get the you can only activate one of them per turn on top of that. And then if it's in a slash draw, then you get that good effect requires multiple, so that's not going to work. Again, I was looking at like, okay, there's time seal, because remember, you get to search out whatever spell and trap, and then you get to add it back to your hand. Maybe you can start trying to loop your opponent with certain effects. Now, yes, the third effect is only once per turn, but maybe you can add something that when it's added to your hand by an effect, it gets to do something, setting itself immediately. There could be some plays with it, so I don't sign this card out as like just memes. I think some people are saying it's trash, some people are saying it's overpowered, and I definitely want to say there's going to be someone that figures out some other archetype is going to discard for some sort of bonus effect, and then you get to maybe re-add another card, and you're not going to be able to infinitely loop it, but it still could give you pretty big advantage, considering it doesn't have that many like bad effects. They're all going to be positive, and remember, this is continuous, so could add up in the long run. Even getting a recycled effect for certain archetypes, this could be pretty big. So let me know, guys, what combos or really cool archetypes can make great use out of Ebon Sun, because I think it's got potential. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new if you want to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because the toy archetype is definitely going to be getting more. Catch you guys in the next one.